Hey yeah, welcome once again to Starless Art Studio. Unless you're new, then hiya! Nice to virtually meet you. So today is another post video, but today's post video is a little different because we did a vote. I'll definitely start doing polls more often for videos and things like that, especially on Twitter. I haven't done those in a while, but I basically asked what tutorial video y'all wanted to see next, and the most votes were for dynamic and perspective poses. So I was gonna go about the regular process of making this video as I usually do, but I noticed a few comments asking for it to be slower or easier to draw with. Now you can just slow down the videos from before just if you want them to be a little slower, but I wanted to try something different, and as you all asked for it, I set up a poll and most of the votes were for drawing it slower, so that's what I did with this video. If you like the speed of this video or wanted to go back to the way it was before, be sure to let me know in the comments if you want me to keep doing this or go back to the way they were before. So to get into it, this set is all about dynamic casual poses. This will be similar to the regular standing poses that I did a couple of videos ago, but it takes it a step further by using more 3D shapes and angles rather than the regular 2D perspective of the other poses. So when drawing poses in general, I've always said to break up things into shapes, but I once told this to a friend who wanted to get into drawing, and he asked me whether to use 3D or 2D shapes. Now I think this is a really good question, one that I'll make a whole other video about though, because there's a nice bunch of little things I want to go over regarding the topic. But to make it simple for this video, for poses that are at dynamic angles using perspective, both 2D and 3D shapes can be used. The more dynamic the pose, the more I suggest 3D shapes. 2D shapes are good for like the circles and the joints, the simple ones, while 3D shapes are good for the torso and limbs. This current pose uses more 2D shapes than 3D shapes, but most of the others use very visible 3D shapes, so you'll see that in a minute. Just to reiterate some of the points from the last time I mentioned casual poses, if you haven't already seen it that is, casual poses often look calm. When most people feel calm and casual, their limbs are often not too close to them but also not too spread out. They're just chill. When drawing it, remember the center of gravity. A lot of times when I draw, I will start with a circle and finish the head, and then you'll see a line just kind of curving or going straight down. This is so I know kind of where the body will be. You want to make sure the pose can support the character's weight. A lot of the time when someone is standing in a casual position, most of their weight will be on one leg, while the other is just near them or sticking out from somewhere. Arms can be crossed, pointed, hands up or out. A helpful way to come up with standing poses is to think about your character and think about what they might be doing in a casual situation. Or if you don't have an OC or anything, just looking at people casually standing, or you could just make up one that you'd like to try out drawing. So let's go over the process from top to bottom. When I draw poses, as you've seen, I almost always start from the head. A lot of the time people tell me, I want to draw people but I can't even draw a good circle, and I totally get that. And let me tell you, you don't have to. You really do not have to, and this is why. You do not have to be able to draw a perfect circle, because whenever you're drawing people and characters, you don't have to draw a perfect circle for their head. As long as it mostly resembles a circle, it should be perfectly fine. Most of it will be erased anyways, unless your character is bald. When you start with the circle, right below it will be the jaw, so then the bottom part of the circle is erased. When you add the hair, most of the circle underneath the hair will also be erased. The only bit of the circle that might still be there is maybe part of the forehead, but still, you really don't have to draw a perfect circle to be able to draw a character. Now if you really want to draw a perfect circle, you can just grab something that's round and trace around it. I used to do this all the time before I did digital art. I remember I would use like a round pencil sharpener or anything else that was circular, and I would put it on my paper and then just take my pencil and trace all the way around the bottom of it. Oh yeah, another thing about the head, when drawing it, I see this all the time, but mostly with beginner artists, and I might have done this too when I was little, but please do not use the bottom part of the circle as the line to put the eyes. I made this real quick sketch as an example of what I'm talking about, but the line of the bottom of the circle is separate from the line that you use to mark the eyes. This line is slightly above the bottom of the circle. Using the circle itself as a way to put the eyes kind of throws it off, especially from like the 3/4 view. Because it kind of causes the eyes to be at a bit of a slant. It causes one of the eyes to be kind of at an awkward slant higher than the eye that's closer to the viewer, so it kind of throws it off. So just make sure the line that you will put the eyes on is separate from the line that is the bottom of the circle. To move on, the neck can vary in thickness, but depending on your style, guys' necks typically look thicker than girls' necks. For shoulders, it depends on the age or style. For adults, the shoulders are wider than the head. with the circles representing the shoulder joint being just on the sides of it. The younger a character is, the more narrow the shoulders typically are. The arms start at the shoulders with circles, those little shoulder joints, and 4 more for the elbows and wrist placements. The chest is either made of a rectangle or a somewhat tall, upside-down trapezoid. For more dynamic poses, they become a rectangular prism or a trapezoidal prism. As you know, on a person, this would be where the lungs and heart would be, and also most of the rib cage. Right below it, there's a little space and then kind of a bowl shape for the pelvic area. The space between the rectangle and the bowl shape would be between the ribs and the pelvis. It's that squishy part of your gut. Right below that is the pelvic region. The top of this area is about where the elbows go. Once again, you can test this by just putting your arms down. You can kind of feel where your elbows are next to your body. When the elbows are lifted from the sides, you can use a curved line to be able to tell more accurately where they'd likely be placed. Then comes the legs. The thighs are typically as long as the torso, as when crouching, knees are around the height of the shoulders. Shins can either be the same length as the thighs or a bit longer. Though also know arms and legs may be shorter if the character's young or if the character's just short. When drawing hands or feet, I usually separate them into parts. For hands, I draw a long trapezoid with the short side being at the wrist. One of the sides was where a thumb would be, and the long side is where the fingers are. Heel, middle, and tip. The heel is rounded, and the top is where the bottom of the shin curves into the middle part. The middle part is kind of like a loaf of bread, like a baguette almost, except like if you cut the ends off of a baguette and just the flat part at the bottom is the bottom of the foot, that would be basically the shape of the middle part. The tip is kind of like the ends of the bread. These separations make them easier to draw. Now, when we're talking about these poses and dynamic angles, this is when things are taken to another step. On its own, it already takes some time to get used to the poses in the regular straight-on view to look right. So if you feel like you're not quite ready to jump from trying to get these proportions right to trying to get them to look right and at all these unique angles and perspectives, on top of that, it's all good. Just practice at the level that you feel you're currently in, and then add the elements of angles and perspective when you feel you're ready. Angles like these are also where using 3D shapes are a bit more useful than just using 2D ones. If you've also noticed, not only have I left the shapes that I used for the poses there, but I'm also adding a little something to it. I've added these rounded lines on things like the torso and the appendages. I do this sometimes with my poses before I draw a finished piece, but these lines are really helpful because they let you see which direction and position these parts are. Like the arms and legs are basically shapely cylinders. These lines help you tell whether they're leaning forward, leaning back, to the side, up, or around. These lines going around the body parts make it easier to tell which side is closer or further from the viewer. It also helps when adding clothes because you can tell where and how it'll wrap around that part of the body. Another thing to take note of when drawing poses at these angles is that little box that you've seen me draw around the characters. This isn't meant to be restrictive though. This is mainly to be able to tell more easily what angle you're looking at the pose in. And when I say it isn't supposed to be restrictive, I mean that you can make the rectangle to draw the pose in, let me rephrase that, rectangular prism or box to draw the character in. But if your character's hand or foot sticks out of the box, that's perfectly okay. As long as it matches the perspective, then it's perfectly fine if it goes out of the box. If anything, this box should help you tell what size things should be the further it is from the viewer. For example, looking at this drawing, if the pose is from the top down, the top part of the box should be bigger than the bottom. This means the head, shoulder, and arms will look bigger than the pelvic area or the legs or feet. Same thing the other way around. If you're looking at it from the bottom up, anything closer to the ground, like the legs or feet, or maybe the hands if the character is sitting, should look bigger as they're closer to the viewer than anything near the top, like the head or shoulders. Just regarding the poses in general, I've been seeing so many people trying these pins, and it's really exciting because I get really excited when I see all you practicing and developing your OC's personalities through poses, or just practicing drawing in general, and I see most of them on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Pinterest is the biggest one. Most of you guys found me through Pinterest, which is pretty great because I've gotten a lot of DMs and comments being like, "Hi, I like your stuff, and I found you on Pinterest," and I think it's just really cool how many of you guys found me from there. I also really love hearing what all of you use these poses for too, not only just for practice, but some use it with their OC, some use it for animation, and some use them to help with their comics. And I think that's just so crazy that just like 5+ years ago I was printing out my own poses and references, and then one day I decided to make a video about them because there's something that I wanted to learn when I was younger. And it's just really encouraging when you give comments or say things like how much they help you, and it really makes my day. And with that, that's about all I wanted to say about this set. If you'd like to follow along, slow it down some more to follow along, or just chill with the music, that's all good. I'll just be over here and you'll hear me at the end of the set. And here is the completed set of casual dynamic standing poses. These will show up on my social media, so look out for those. You can check out these and my other artworks on Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a Ko-fi and Patreon if you didn't know. And I really hope these poses will be useful and that what I said in the video can help you when you draw poses for your characters or when just practicing. Besides that, if you don't already know, I have an Etsy shop, and new stickers are available, including more edit girls, some updated versions of older ones, and the rare animal girls. Filling out orders is actually more fun than I thought it would be, and if you'd like to order any of these characters as stickers, feel free to visit Starless Art Studio shop. Thanks so much for watching if you made it this far, and just to see who has gotten this far, go ahead and put a strawberry emoji in the comments. If you have any more suggestions for future videos, feel free to leave a comment about that too. I hope you guys have a stellar and safe day. Bye!